This video is sponsored by Squarespace. Big or small, it's the place to be for all your website building needs.
Is this thing on?
Greetings, animation fans and fam. Today I have the honor of talking about the latest Sony/Netflix film to get fucked by its marketing. Low-key, I am just waiting for Sony to open up their own streaming service, and everything else that they're doing right now is just them bitterly sitting around for their last few obligation films. It's sad that they're so salty about it, because Sony has been on a roll lately. The Mitchells vs. the Machines, Wish Dragon, and now I'm happy to say, Vivo. Vivo is the story of Vivo, the Pikachu, and his journey to Miami on a mission of love, grief, and musical hijinks. This Sony picture continues the trend of really good films getting underserved by their marketing. Like, they didn't even release a trailer till the week before the movie came out. But despite its hasty release, this musical animated film is fan-fucking-tastic. Featuring the always talented Lin-Manuel Miranda of Hamilton the Heights fame, this legendary lyricist alongside Alec Lamore, aka the guy who helped make all those other things. And this is all just my pedantic way of saying, the music is fire, like elevating a simple story to insane heights, making it an absolute must-watch for musical fans. And I know I'm singing its praises a bit early and it does fumble in some areas, but fair is fair. If you're looking for earworms, this is the film for you. But before we get into that, Squarespace. Squarespace, if you didn't know, is the all-in-one website for creating websites, maintaining them, and domaining. 3 things that would require a degree in computer science and several hours of panic scrambling to find a domain site that isn't trying to steal your money. Squarespace has made it safe, easy, and secure for all your first-time website building needs. Whether you're building a site to host your portfolio or expanding your business, Squarespace has got you covered with hundreds of templates for your choosing and options for every type of site. Host videos from YouTube or build a website people will actually see. I've been using Squarespace for about 6 years now, and it has made my life so much easier. So I can say with confidence, Squarespace is what you need if you are trying to build your own website. And right now with Squarespace special offer, you can click the link in the description to get Squarespace for 14 days free with 10% off your first purchase. Or use code SARCASTICCHORUS. So come on, try it out, you got nothing to lose. But let's get back to that review.
Excuse me, you know that if you buy a Sandollar's cloth bag instead of using a plastic one, then you won't have the blood of Mother Nature on your hands?
I'm not a bad man. I just want a cookie.
So to give the basics of the story without any spoilers, this is about Vivo going from Havana to Miami, where he's trying to deliver a letter alongside a very energetic little girl named Gabby. The two learn more about themselves, they bond, and share a journey about music and overcoming grief. Music is the true star of this film though, and it's dripping with charm and personality, combining Manuel's signature vocal style and rap with a Havana-infused beat that just never stops, even when it should. Like, see, there isn't a bad song here, but I will say some of them can be aggressive.
Extra, extra, the kid that the other kids can't get next up.
To the beat of your own drum is that one song that I just know kids are going to love and everyone else is probably gonna hate because it is going to get so overplayed. Like, if you watch this with kids, be like, oh my god, we gotta watch that again. I'm gonna be like, oh god, I'm gonna start just like putting in headphones to ignore this because it is going to be, it's not bad, but it is aggressive and people are going to be replaying it for months. And I know when I watched it the first time, my family was yelling at me to turn it down. The songs are all written by the same team that made Hamilton, so they play to all of Lin's strengths, which is my polite way of saying this man destroys on the rapping sections of his songs, but is only just good at the actual singing. Don't take this as me bashing the man's chops, he has a good voice, but it just falls short when compared to the other trained singers he's with. Like, this is something I've noticed in a lot of his music, and he's definitely stepped it up here from his stage days, but when you put the man next to someone like Gloria Estefan, you can feel him straining to keep pace. But luckily, these songs do play to his strength, so when the rapid fire sections come, that is where he is king. And that's what I like about them. They play to their creator's strengths, showing off the music and rhythm that made Hamilton a hit. I've been listening to this soundtrack all day, and it hasn't gotten old, which is the thing you want out of a musical. Now, as for the characters, because they also exist too, I like them. Now, the music, again, is the star, so the characters are kept fun, relatable, and given basically mini arcs to say that they did in fact change throughout the story. This isn't Pixar levels of moving, but there's no one that got on my nerves or that I would call a waste. especially since they were able to take that over-the-top little kid trope and kept them from falling into genuinely annoying. The characters are exasperated by Gabby, but it is not a constant stream of cringe moments, so I actually left the film appreciating the fact that I didn't hate her, which massive achievement for me at least. Vivo is meanwhile, he's a fun singing monkey, and despite being the main character in this story, this is really about the journey, not so much about how it affects the individual characters. Like, it takes it a step farther than Wish Dragon, where despite Din being the main character longest one with the arc, here it is about the emotional experience we the audience go through, watching these characters struggle and getting those good feels at the end. For me at least, that was enough, and I didn't mind that most of the arcs were kind of basic. Now, onto the animation. Vivo looks fine. I think the sets are the best part of the film, with Havana and Miami looking absolutely gorgeous, perfectly capturing the moods of each one. But I feel like everything else, though, is what you would expect. Like, what you'd expect from a big budget animated film. This wasn't a smaller production team. This wasn't a set third tier studio. This was Sony on their own, putting all the cash down on making this movie look as polished as possible. But it's kind of just about it. It is very polished with no area where the film seems to be dropping the ball, and I did like the inspired 2D sections for Andreas' memory. But there was nothing here that really wowed me. Like, again, just Ram Wish Dragon, which comparatively does look worse than Vivo. It reuses characters, its sets are nowhere near as beautiful. But what stood out to me more in Wish Dragon was the personality and the exaggeration they brought to the character animation. It helped elevate otherwise middling visuals. Vivo, on the other hand, while being more polished and having like a better look to it, doesn't have anything else that specifically stands out to me. So if you're ready for some easy eye candy, this will definitely do it for you, but it's not gonna have that thing that's you're gonna be looking like, oh, I need to go see that scene, like besides the 2D animated bits. Now, one other small thing I feel like I just need to clarify is that they incorporate Vivo talking in a very interesting way, because in universe, he doesn't speak. We hear it as English when he's actually just speaking monkey noises. Like, I kinda expected the film to cheat in some way through shenanigans, have the girl be able to understand him, but no. They keep that barrier between him and the humans, which led to a lot of fun bits in the dialogue where the characters are responding to things Vivo says without them talking to him, where they're basically figuring out this information at the same time that he is and commenting on it. Like, they cheat in a couple ways like that. I really just love it when you have two characters that bond without having to talk with each other. I feel like that just creates such a stronger connection in most other cases. But it will feel a bit off-putting when they finally introduce the fact that other animals can talk. Like, they wait until 30 minutes into the film, and it is a little off-putting for a bit, but these are all nitpicks. I'll talk about more in spoilers, so this is basically your spoiler warning. If you want to hear my final thoughts, skip to here. If you don't want spoilers, this is your warning. You have till 7, 8, 3, 2, 1.
Hey, Dad!
So yes, the impetus for Vivo's journey is the death of his owner, Andreas, who, after receiving a letter from his lost love Marta, who he never confessed to, but who has also gone on to have great success in the States, and he gets this letter from her asking him to play with her in her final performance. She wanted to play with him one last time, and Andreas is ecstatic. His community just rallied behind him, paid for a ticket. Vivo, not used to sharing his banana daddy, is dead set against it, but seeing how happy it makes him and how the idea of giving her the love song he wrote all those years ago fills him with such a life and love, Vivo is won over. Sadly, the following morning, Andreas passes away in his sleep, and Vivo, guilty of not being supportive, is driven to try and fulfill Andreas' dream of giving Marta the love song. The film starts with this tone of like just fun and life, only to take this tragic turn. And for a moment, I thought we were gonna go down a much darker path. In the next scene, it brings it back, with the community gathering around to celebrate Andreas' life. And it's seeing that community come together is what really created an uplifting moment over what was an incredibly sad one. Accomplishing this without dismissing what just happened, but in embracing it. Grief has a significant point into the story, but it only really comes into play in the beginning and end. Like, I'm not trying to knock this film, the musical sections of this film are the highlights of the story, but it did feel like it was stretching when it tried to tie it back into Gabby's character, whose father has also passed away. Gabby, who is naturally energetic and wild, she claims she's trying to help Andreas say goodbye because she didn't get a chance to say goodbye to her father. but it never comes across like that in the story. Outside the slow moments in her song, she's not acting out for attention. She's just Gabby. She got that energy from her dad. If they had taken more time to tie Vivo and Gabby's shared experience of grief together, I could have seen that working out beautifully. But as it is, it feels like more of an afterthought, with Gabby's mom getting the more emotional moments in small but very real scenes that struck me. Another somewhat spoiler opinion of mine is that the big performance that this film is building to, the song that Vivo fought tooth and paw to get to Marta, came out a bit underwhelming. It's not bad, it's on par with the rest of the songs, which is kind of my issue. This whole movie is just filled with 7 and 8s, and you kind of want that big final thing that there's all this emotional weight on to be a 9. And it was just another 8. Like, I got a little bit emotional watching it, but it was more due to the visuals than the actual song itself. And if you're just watching this just for pure enjoyment factor, I can see them skipping the Everglades, which is just the middle section of this whole movie. Like, they could have cut a lot of this if I'm being honest. Like, I don't think we really needed Vivo helping on Flamingo hook up with another dork. Like, we didn't need a giant ass snake who hates music or noise. Like, I'm not against these things, but it goes back to what I said earlier, to the fact that other animals talking isn't introduced until a third of the way into the film, making the middle section feel a bit weird and comes off as a, okay, I guess we're just doing this sort of way. Like, I kind of wish they gave more of the Girl Scouts, who towed that line between being cringe and being really funny. Like, watching them shame the one dude over the environment was way better than I was expecting, and the zeal with which they want to quarantine Vivo would have made Canada proud. Like, if they were like the main antagonist group in the middle section, I feel like I could have dug it just a little bit more. But I like the flamingo dorks. I just don't care for everything else in that section. Another thing is that, as sweet as watching Vivo and Gabby recreate the song is, in the back of my grown adult viewing brain, a part of me was screaming at this cartoon child for not taking a picture. Like, they have this single old ass piece of paper, and no one thought that maybe we should take a picture as backup. And don't say that she doesn't have a phone. I checked, it's shown twice. Okay, yeah, I really did love this film. It went places that I didn't expect, dealing with grief, love, and how music has a power to bring people together. Vivo is probably my favorite musical to come out in the 21. Its energy, its lyrics, the comedy, it all made this a fun experience that I connected with on a personal level. And I think for an hour 40, you could do a lot worse with your time on Netflix. So go check it out. So go check out the film they didn't promote past the homepage. Like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Check out the movie, check out the soundtrack. Check out my channel if you haven't subscribed already. Like and share this video if you will. And please, check out Squarespace and get all their wonderful deals. Thank you all for watching. Peace out. Goodbye.